So now starting with your chapter 4, and its name is conductors, gauge of a conductor, insulators, semiconductors, and high resistance heating element. So chapter name is conductors, gauge of conductor, insulators, semiconductors, and high resistance heating element. So in this chapter we are going to see about conductors, what are conductors and what are the types, gauge of conductor, what is meant by gauge, insulators, semiconductors, and high resistance heating element. So I hope you all know the properties of conductors, insulators, and semiconductors, not in deep but in basic. What does the conductor do, means what are the properties of conductor. So now starting with the conductor, so we'll start with first conductor. So what is the conductor? The substance through which electric current can pass very easily. So the substance in which the electric current can flow easily are grouped as conductors. So what is the definition of conductors? The substance through which electric current can pass. So electric current can pass easily are grouped as conductors. Okay, so most of the metals are good conductors of electricity. So most of the metals, so examples are metals, so most of the metals are good conductor of electricity. So the metals are good conductors, the resistivity is low, so the conductor has low resistance. Resistance means the property which opposes the flow of current, but in conductor the resistance is low, that means resistivity is low. So you can write your point, resistivity is low, therefore they show least opposition to flow of current. So the conductivity is more, so they can conduct current, or the conductivity is more and resistivity is low. Okay, this is all about conductors, and the examples are like copper, aluminium, silver, iron, steel, and alloys are good conductors and are used for electric power transmission and internal wirings purpose because they have low resistance. The wires we use, they are of low resistance, so the electric current can flow through them easily. So this is all about conductors. So starting with first one is copper. So this is mostly used conductor. So this copper is mostly used conductor. The resistance of this conductor, I mean to say every conductor has its own resistance. Okay, it doesn't mean that conductor means it will just flow or it will flow the current easily. Yes, the conductor carries the current or it passes the current easily, but they have their own resistance. So copper has its own resistance, and this resistance, copper resistance, is more than silver. That means resistance of copper is more than silver. That means conductivity of copper is little bit less than silver. Conductivity in silver is more. That means this silver can flow the current very easily as compared to copper, but silver is very costly, so we cannot use it on regular basis. Okay, so it has high conductivity. Copper also has high conductivity. It is available in reasonable prices, so it is reasonably cheap. It is in pure form. It is very strong. So in its pure form, copper is very strong. In its pure form, it is very strong, hard, tough, and durable and ductile. That means durable means it will live long life. It will not get damaged easily. And ductile means we can turn or we can mold it in a single wire. The ductile means the ability to able to draw out it in a thin wire. So we can make the copper wires very easily. That means it is ductile. Okay, therefore it is widely used for rolling and drawing wires. So it is a cheap, reasonably cheap, and it is durable. It lasts for long period. It is hard, tough, and very strong. So copper has high resistance against corrosion. So copper has high resistance against corrosion, oxidation, and pitting. Okay, so what does it mean by pitting? So pitting means it produces some small holes on our material or the surface. So that means pitting, but it has resistance. That means it will not undergo corrosion, oxidation, and pitting. Okay, so it can stand in air or in rain. At high temperature also it can withstand. Okay, so it can be easily soldered. Soldering means, what does it mean by soldering? It can be easily soldered. That means if we have to join the two pieces of metal or wire together using a mixture of metals, so it is easily soldered. We can join the two metal parts of copper easily. Okay, so it has a specific weight of pure copper is 8.96 gram per centimeter cube at 20 degree Celsius. So this is the specific weight of pure copper. Melting point of copper is 1083 degree Celsius, and resistivity of copper is 1.72 microohms per centimeter cube. Okay, so this is all about copper. Now moving to the second, that is aluminium. So next to copper, aluminium is widely used as conductor. So aluminium is also conductor and it is widely used. It is very light in weight and proves to be cheaper than copper. So the price of aluminium is less than the copper. So it is light in weight. It is very light in weight and proves to be cheaper than copper. Nowadays there is shortage of copper. So copper has a shortage and it is becoming very costlier. Means the price of copper is more. So aluminium is widely used. So aluminium is widely used. So melting point of aluminium is 675 degrees Celsius. Resistivity is 2.8 microohms per centimeter cube. Aluminium can be easily rolled, drawn, or forged. So aluminium can be easily rolled, drawn. That means we can draw it into wire. Okay, and forged. What does it mean by forged? That means it can be drawn to any desired shape. So if we have to draw the particular shape from the aluminium, it is easily done. Okay, aluminium becomes hard after cold drawing through dies. Aluminium becomes soft after annealing. So annealing, it is a process where We heat and allow it to cool slowly in order to remove the internal stress. So annealing means we heat our metal, okay, and allow it to cool down completely, and this process is very slow. And why we do this? Because to remove the internal stress, okay, and toughness in it. Okay, so aluminum tensile strength is 20 kg per square millimeter. That means tensile strength means what? Tensile strength means what? The resistance of material to breaking under tension. So whenever there is tension on this material, it will not break easily. So these are used for overhead conductors. So aluminum is used for overhead conductor. And used for bus bars, cables, flexible wires, etc. Resistivity of aluminium. Resistivity of aluminium is 1.65 times greater than copper. Okay, so resistivity of aluminium is 1.65 times greater than copper. If we compare aluminium and copper with equal length, the resistance aluminium will be larger than copper. So we know the resistivity or resistance formula, R is equal to rho L upon A. So if we compare aluminium and copper of equal length, this length is equal, then also the resistance of the aluminium will be larger than the copper. Aluminium is restricted to corrosion, so it restricts to corrosion. A corrosion will not take place easily. In open air, aluminium becomes coated with very thin film of aluminium oxide. So whenever it is outside, or whenever it comes in contact with air, it forms the oxide, aluminium oxide layer. By this, the further oxidation is stopped. The film has high resistance. This oxidation, due to this, what happens? The light film of aluminium oxide gets on our conductor. So this film has a high resistance. So this aluminium oxide has a high resistance. Therefore, what we have to do? So aluminium conductors are first filed so that we can remove the aluminium oxide from the conductor. So we have to first file it. A file means there is one file that we have to rub on that conductor so that aluminium oxide will get removed. Okay, so it is harder for soldering than copper. That means the soldering is difficult on the aluminium. So generally it is not used for underground cables. So this is not used for underground cables. Okay, so aluminium is not used for underground cables. It is used for overhead. Okay, now we'll go for the third one, that is silver. Silver is the best of all conductors as conductivity is concerned. So silver is the best because the resistivity is low and conductivity of silver is more. It has high conductivity. Silver has high conductivity. But why we don't use it? It is very costly and therefore the use of it is restricted. Resistivity is 1.56 microohm per centimeter cube and the melting point of silver is 1083 degrees Celsius and it is malleable and ductile. Okay, so the fourth one is steel. Okay, so steel contains iron and carbon. So steel contains iron and carbon. It is mechanically strong very strong. Its strength depends upon the heat treatment. It is mechanically strong. And its strength depends upon the heat temperature. Tensile strength means, as I said in these first two conductors, the tensile strength means resistance of material to break under tension. So whenever we apply force or whenever we produce pressure, it will not break. Okay. So tensile strength is up to 70 to 75 kgs per square millimeter. Okay. Due to heat, resistance is considerably increased. Okay, whenever the heat increases, its resistance increases and it is easily corroded. So it should have thin film of zinc coating when used as overhead conductors to avoid corrosion. So to avoid corrosion in this steel, what we have to do? We should have the thin film of zinc coating we have to do. Okay, so we have to do the zinc coating when used as overhead conductors to avoid corrosion. Resistivity is 0.13 micro ohm square millimeter or meter. Conductivity of steel is very poor. Conductivity is poor. Okay, conductivity of steel is very poor. So use as conductor is restricted. The steel used as conductor is restricted. Okay. If the distance of our transmission line is more, then what we require? We require the mechanically strong conductors, or the conductor should be mechanically strong. But here in steel conductors are used for short distance transmission, or it are used for the short distance. Okay. So this is all about the steel. Steel wires are used where? These are used for telegraphy, where the resistance is not considered serious. Okay, so these are used in telegraphy where resistance is not considered seriously. So this is all about the conductors. So in conductor we saw copper, aluminium, silver and steel. So now types or classes of conductor. So first types of classes. So in this first, aluminium conductors, we saw the conductors, in that we saw the aluminium conductors. So aluminium conductors are steel reinforced to increase their tensile strength. Okay, so to increase the tensile strength, what we do, these aluminium conductors are steel reinforced. Okay, I'll insert the picture, so from this picture you'll understand what is it. And these conductors, the aluminium conductors which are steel reinforced, these conductors are known as ACSR. ACSR conductors. Strong galvanized steel wires. Okay, strong galvanized steel wires form the core of the conductors which bears the main mechanical load. All the mechanical load, whatever the load will be applied, will be beared by this steel wires. Okay, aluminium wire which is twisted over this steel core will conduct the current. So the steel wires, what will they do? They will bear the mechanical load, and the aluminium wires which are twisted will conduct the current. Okay, ACSR means aluminium conductors aluminum conductors, steel reinforced. Okay, ACSR means aluminum conductor steel reinforced. So the resistance of these ACSR conductors are usually calculated from the total section of aluminum wire. So the ACSR resistance of these ACSR conductors are usually calculated from the total section of aluminium, only considering aluminium and neglecting conductivity of steel wire. Okay. Now second one is sometimes bimetallic conductors are used. So bimetallic conductors are used. Steel is coated with copper. So the steel is coated with copper. It is mechanically strong and used for bus bars, for switch gears, blades for knife and switches. So second one is bimetallic conductors are used. Bimetallic means conductor made up of two metals. Bimetallic means conductor made up of two metals. So the steel is coated with copper. Okay, steel is coated with copper and it is mechanically strong, used for bus bars, for switches, switch gears, blades for knives and switches, etc. Third one is a solid conductor. So these are the conductors of one solid uniform cross section throughout. That means it has a uniform cross sectional area, and you can see in the diagram I have inserted here. So this is the solid conductor. You can see there is only a single conductor there. Okay, so these are used in wires or overhead lines. Okay, these are the solid conductors. And fourth one is stranded conductor. So the wires used for ordinary purpose may be single solid conductor, as we saw in third point, single solid conductor. But when wires are required for greater flexibility, where we require flexibility in wires, such as for the pendant lamp. So for the pendant lamps, a wire of single conductors are not suitable. So which wire is suitable here? The flexible wire or cord may have number of wires of fine diameter. That means there must be number of wires grouped together of a fine diameter. That means they are stranded together. So you can see this picture. So number of conductors stranded together depends upon the current carrying capacity of wire. According to our current carrying capacity, we have to choose the number of conductors to be stranded together. Okay, this is about stranded conductors. Fifth one is conductors in form of thick strip. Okay, generally conductors are of round shape. As we all know, conductors are usually of round shape. They may be bare conductors used for transmission. What does it mean by bare conductors? So this is our conductor, or it may be our wire. So you can see in our wire also the conductor has its insulation. So the wire has insulation. Okay. So whenever the insulation is not provided, that means the conductor is a bare conductor that is used for transmission. There are different types of conductors which are in round shape. They may be bare conductors without insulation, and they may also be conductors which are insulated to conduct electricity. But some conductors are also used in form of thick rectangular strips. So the conductors are in form of thick rectangular strips. So some conductors are in thick rectangular strips, Generally, such conductors are used in transformer windings. So these conductors in form of strips are used in transformer winding. Bus bars are also made up of thick rectangular. So where are these used? They are used in transformer winding and also in bus bars. Okay. So this is about the conductors in form of thick strips. Okay. Now our second or next point is gauge of conductor. Gauge of conductor wire. So as we learnt in the fuse chapter that whenever the current flows through the conductor, it heats up the conductor. So heat is produced. Okay. So the heat produced by the conductor, so H is for the heat produced by the conductor is directly proportional to the current carried by the conductor. So the heat produced by the conductor is directly proportional to the current in the conductor. More the current, more will be the heating process. Lesser the current, lesser will be the heating. Okay. Due to this heat produced, temperature increases. Okay. The temperature of our conductor increases. Generally, the wires are insulated. You can see in your home also, the wires are insulated by the plastic or whatever the material it is. So they are insulated. So this insulation has some temperature limit. So from the particular wire, the particular amount of current must flow. Okay. If the insulation is weak, or you can say the insulation is not that quality, or it is not good quality insulation, and the higher current flows through it, then what will happen? Higher the current, higher the heating, and due to this heating, more will be the temperature. And because of this more temperature, there are chances that our insulation may get damaged. Okay. So to avoid this, what we do? We decide the conductor size that is laid down as standard. So the wire size is not expressed in terms of area or in terms of diameter. We not go in shop and say I want this wire of this diameter or this particular area. But what we say, I want this gauge wire. The gauge is the term used to express the standard of the wire. Okay. So BSWG, that is British Standard Wire Gauge. The smallest gauge is 40. Smallest gauge is 40, which has a diameter of 0.1219 mm. So this is the diameter and this is the number of our gauge. So this is the smallest gauge, which has diameter 0.1219 mm, and the bigger gauge is 0, which has diameter 12.7 mm. From this you have to understand. So we'll see further what we have to understand. So what is the procedure? We'll now check the procedure of checking the wire gauge. If the conductor is enameled, what does it mean by enameled? So enamel is one of the insulation that we coat on our wire. So our wire, that means conductor, what we do on this conductor, we enamel it. That means we coat or we give the coating of enamel, that is insulation. We provide insulation for our conductor. So while checking the gauge, we have to remove that enamel. Okay, so we have to scratch out the enamel and then we have to insert it in the approximate gap of various gauge number. So I will insert the image of gauge or the instrument that. So we have to insert the wire in that particular gauge number or particular gap. Okay, for example, if the conductor enters into number 3 just easily, so whenever our gauge enters in, whenever our conductors enters in the gauge number 3 easily, but it is difficult or it is not easily entering number 4, and it is very loose in entering number 2, then 3 is the gauge number of wire. So they have given one of the example. So consider these are the gauge. So this is the gauge number 3, this is the gauge number 4, and this is the gauge number 2. Okay, so whenever we insert the conductor in gauge number 3, it is easily inserted. Okay, but in gauge number 2 it is very loose. Okay, it is very loose, and in gauge number 4 it is not entering only. So what is the perfect gauge? It is gauge number 3. Okay, it should be noted that higher the number of wire gauge, smallest the diameter. So you can see here also they had given one example. So 40 number gauge. So higher the number of wire gauge. So this is the higher number of wire gauge. Smallest is the diameter. 40 number gauge, the diameter is 0.121 mm, 1219. Higher the number of gauge, the diameter is smaller, and smaller the number of gauge, diameter is bigger. Okay. Some wires having one solid conductors. Some wires are having 2 conductors, or some wires may have 3 conductors. Such wires are called as stranded conductors. I will insert the image of stranded conductors. So this is the image of stranded conductors. In this, there are many wires. According to our requirement, we can use one single solid conductor, or 2 conductor, 3 conductor wire. These wires are expressed as, so how we express it? Now you can say here a 7/20 wire. So how to read this? So this is read as 7 strands and gauge of 1 strand is 20 SWG. That means there are 7 strands. That means it consists of number of conductors that are 7 strands and gauge of each strand. So the gauge of each strand there are 7, and the single strand gauge of one strand is 20 SWG. Okay. So this is how we read it. So now another one. 40 by 0.1930. That means it has a 40 strands, and each strand has diameter 0.1930 mm. Okay, so if this is the number, then they are the gauge number, or yes, this is the gauge number, and whenever this comes in this type 0.19, then these are the diameters of that particular strand. Okay, so this is all about the conductors, gauge, and what is the procedure of checking the wire gauge. So I hope you have understood. So we'll once again see what is the procedure of checking wire gauge. So what we do, we have to first remove the enamel that is on our conductor. We have to scratch the enamel and insert the conductor in approximate gap of various gauge number. Okay, so we have to insert that in proper gap of wire gauge instrument. So whatever the gap it fits, that number is our gauge number. Okay, so this is the procedure of measuring or the checking the wire gauge. Now what is this 7 by 20 wire means? It has 7 strands and gauge of one strand is 20 SWG or 40 by 10 0.1932 30 or 40 by 0.1930. That means it has 40 strands and each strand has diameter of 0.1930 mm. So now insulators and all we'll see in next lecture.